Hello everyone, welcome to Jungkook Moments channel. Have you ever noticed how Jungkook's eyes change when Jimin talks to someone else? It's not just a casual glance, there's deep emotion behind it, a silent signal from someone who doesn't want to share attention. Today, we're going to reveal the hidden side of their relationship, jealous moments that not only make our hearts race but also hint at a closeness that words can't describe. So, make sure to watch until the end because every second of this video will make you more convinced that there's something more than just ordinary friendship. When Jungkook sees Jimin talking to someone else, he can never hide his reaction. His gaze immediately shifts, as if his possessive instincts suddenly kick in. Not because he doesn't trust Jimin, but because there's a part of him that can't accept Jimin's attention being divided. On many occasions, Jungkook's expression turns serious whenever Jimin becomes too friendly with someone. No matter who it is, discomfort always shows on Jungkook's face. One example is when Jimin is engrossed with his phone. Jungkook, unconsciously, slowly approaches, trying to peek at Jimin's screen with curious eyes. But this isn't just regular curiosity. There's a strong urge within him to make sure Jimin isn't too focused on someone else. This small gesture shows just how important Jimin is in his life. Interestingly, Jimin also shows similar behavior. Though he's more subtle in expressing emotions, there are moments when his jealousy becomes clearly visible. One such moment was when Tae tried to place a plush toy on Jungkook's head. Instantly, Jimin's expression changed. His eyes stared sharply at Tae, revealing obvious discomfort. Even Tae seemed to notice and quickly moved away from Jungkook, as if understanding the situation. Interactions like this aren't rare. In several videos, we can see Jimin displaying unease when someone gets too close to Jungkook. Even when he tries to hide it, his body language, intense stares, changes in expression, or averting his eyes, says it all. The dynamic between them is so strong, and these jealous moments actually strengthen the bond they share. It's clear this isn't just ordinary friendship. Every emotional reaction, whether from Jungkook or Jimin, is proof that they care for each other deeply. Jealousy isn't a problem, it's a sign of sincere affection, another form of attention and interconnection that words can't explain. There's a moment that captures this perfectly, when Jimin casually placed his hand on Namjoon's leg. What seemed like an innocent gesture was enough to drastically change Jungkook's expression. His gaze turned sharp, and his mood was written all over his face. Similarly, when Jimin complimented the muscles of a male interviewer during an interview, Jungkook immediately crossed his arms and pursed his lips, his displeasure clearly visible. That wasn't just a spontaneous gesture, it was the expression of someone feeling disturbed. Over the years, we've seen many similar moments. Jungkook often intervenes or tries to divert Jimin's attention away from others. His stares, facial expressions, and body movements become honest forms of communication, showing that he doesn't want to lose his special place in Jimin's heart. These aren't random reactions. These emotional responses indicate that their bond goes beyond professional closeness or onstage friendship. What's more interesting is that, even though Jimin sometimes appears indifferent, deep down he enjoys Jungkook's attention. In many moments, he even smiles when Jungkook watches him, as if appreciating the care. This shows that jealousy isn't a negative thing in their relationship, but a natural part of a long-standing bond. This dynamic has lasted for years and has only grown stronger. No matter who comes close to them, Jimin and Jungkook always find their way back to each other. Their jealousy is clear proof that this bond is not easily replaced. Jimin may show jealousy subtly, a sharp glance, a tilted head, or quietly watching from afar, but every gesture carries meaning. Another small example is when Jimin tries to get Jungkook's attention but fails because Jungkook is talking to someone else. Jimin's face immediately changes, and he steps back slightly, as if to assess the situation. These seemingly trivial moments actually reveal the depth of their relationship. What makes this relationship so unique is how both need each other in a way that feels exclusive. Jungkook becomes restless when Jimin is too focused on his phone, and Jimin feels uneasy when someone gets too close to Jungkook. It's not about distrust. It's about a closeness that has evolved into something more personal and profound. Another striking thing is how this jealousy doesn't cause conflict, but rather strengthens their relationship. In every jealous moment, there is never destructive anger. Instead, there's an emotional acknowledgement that they are important to one another, that they are here not just to share the stage, but also their feelings. Over time, all of this forms a deep understanding that the bond between Jimin and Jungkook can't be described with the word friendship alone. They've shown that love doesn't always need to be spoken. It lives in silent looks, in small jealousies, in efforts to always stay close. Every reaction from Jungkook, whether it's leaning in to look at Jimin's phone screen, observing his interactions with others, or expressing spontaneous displeasure, proves how strong their bond is. And Jimin, with his calm demeanor, reciprocates in equally deep ways. A small smile, a meaningful silence, or protective gestures when someone gets too close to Jungkook. Their relationship has stood the test of time. Jealousy isn't a threat, it's proof that their feelings are real. Behind all the togetherness we see in public lies a deeper story. A story of two hearts that complete and protect each other, never allowing distance to create doubt. It's not just jealousy that proves their closeness, but also the way they comfort each other afterward. There was a time when Jimin seemed uncomfortable because Jungkook was too friendly with a female staff member. Suddenly, Jimin disappeared from view for a few minutes. Jungkook, initially unaware, began to look restless, scanning the room for the person who was always by his side. When he found Jimin standing alone backstage without saying a word, he simply walked over and stood beside him. They didn't need words. A light touch on Jimin's arm was enough to bring everything back to calm. This is the strength of their bond, silent, but full of meaning. Interestingly, this dynamic isn't limited to when they're together. Even when they're apart, the protectiveness and attention remain. In one live broadcast that only featured Jimin, a viewer commented on how well-matched Jimin looked with the male host next to him. Jimin smiled briefly, but not long after, Jungkook appeared in the live chat with a short comment, "Let's go home." Though it sounded playful, every ARMY knew it wasn't just a joke. There was a hint of possessiveness, but also deep emotional claim. As if Jungkook was reminding everyone, and Jimin, that someone is always waiting at home. We also can't forget how Jimin is always the first to notice when Jungkook looks tired or down. In one concert documentary, Jungkook sat alone, head bowed from exhaustion. Jimin, who was joking with the staff, suddenly stopped, walked over to Jungkook, and placed his hand on the magne's shoulder. No main camera captured that moment, just a small backstage clip. But to those who noticed, it was one of the most honest moments ever recorded. A sign of genuine care born not out of obligation, but out of love. For them, jealousy isn't a sign of distrust. It's a way of saying, "You matter to me." They mark each other's personal space, not to restrict, but to protect. And that shows just how strong their foundation is. They don't need public validation, nor demand definitions from others. What they know is, they've built a small world that only they understand. A world where silence speaks louder than words, and a single glance can mean 1,000 things. These moments, though often left unspoken, are puzzle pieces that, when put together, form a grand narrative, the story of two hearts that have found a home in each other. Jimin and Jungkook don't always need to be physically close to show their bond. Even when they're apart, an invisible magnet keeps pulling them back. In laughter, in jealousy, even in silence, there's always Jungkook for Jimin, and Jimin for Jungkook. And so, their love continues to grow in a soft, unique form. Not in the noise of grand confessions, but in faithful small steps, in attention that never fades. They're not just two idols sharing a stage, but two souls that understand each other, beyond time, screens, and words. Jimin and Jungkook may never say anything directly about their relationship, but perhaps they don't need to. Their glances, their touches, their little jealousies already say it all. Behind the spotlight and the dazzling stage, they've built a small world that only they understand. A world where one smile or a fleeting glance means, "I care." Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any Jikook moments. See you in the next video, only on Jikook Moments, because some stories don't need words to feel real.